You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. We've got a lot to cover on the program today, including this very strange story that is still developing with Dan Bongino here in South Florida. I want to share with you all that this episode is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. And if you'd like to support the program and become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the episode description. And Patreon supporters have access to commercial-free editions of all podcast episodes. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout out on every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Mike P, Rome, Wisconsin, Macho, Wesley, Nick, Rick, Carlos, Paulette, John, Arctic Fox, David, Richard, and Melissa. These are our top Patreon supporters. And if you'd like to become a patron of the program, again, there is a link in the episode description. All right. So I had this story this morning before the morning show, and I did not bring it up because I wanted more information before I went public with it, although I knew it happened, but I wanted more information. And I wanted to wait till Dan Bongino commented on this. And then after Dan Bongino spoke, it became more vague, more confusing, and more bizarre. Now, Dan Bongino lives here in Florida, and there was a story that came out that he was thrown out of a restaurant in Palm Beach. Some news accounts say Miami. People that aren't from Florida think all of Florida is Miami. This is very far from Miami, Palm Beach. It's not far from Mar-a-Lago. And some stories have said that he got into a fight in the restaurant. Dan Bongino went on his show today and told his version of what happened, and it was lacking a lot of specific details and was very strange. So let me go through this. This is in the Daily Mail, and this is the most coherent account of everything we've gotten on this Bongino story in one place. I'll go through this. We'll talk about it, and you guys can let us know in the comments your thoughts on this. Here's the headline. Ex-Fox News host Dan Bongino claims it was his wife who was being thrown out of a Palm Beach restaurant and not him, and claims it was because she was waiting in the wrong restroom line. And what Bongino had said, I'll read through the story, but I listened to his explanation on the show. He saw someone manhandling a woman, had her in a bear hug, and was tossing her out of this restaurant in Palm Beach. And then he recognized the bracelet. It was his wife. And they were throwing her out because she was in the wrong restroom line, which seems very strange. There's two lines. There's a line for men. There's a line for women.
Maybe there's three lines.
I don't think so. I didn't hear anything about that. There's a line for men. There's
I've seen
line for women.
restaurants that have men, women, and then they have like a generic
family restroom,
or maybe a family or non-binary.
I don't know about that.
I'm
There's
not
no
kidding.
mention of that with Bongino.
Well,
but when you're in the men's line, it's usually men. When you're in the ladies' line, it's ladies. There's something missing here.
I will say this though, and I've had this happen in my younger days, going out when there's two restrooms. This is not a busy place. This is a smaller restaurant, but this is possible. Maybe she really, really had to go. And the women's line is always long, and the men's line, there's no line. That's how it is at every place.
Yeah.
The women's line will be 10 people deep. Maybe this is a place that has one bathroom stall per, you know what I mean? Some places have one bathroom, and that's it if it's a smaller place. So maybe she went to the men's room because she really had to go, and the ladies' room, the line was too long.
Yeah.
And apparently an employee threw her out.
Well,
so something happened.
Let me read through the story, and I like Dan Bongino, but I think he's left some things out of the story, which I'll explain to you why I think that when we're done. Okay, so let me read the story. Dan Bongino has claimed his wife was dragged out of a glitzy Palm Beach Italian restaurant Friday night for waiting in the wrong line for the restroom. The pro-Trump podcast host, age 48, said his wife Paula was UFC-style removed from Cucina Palm Beach by an employee after enjoying a night out for a friend's birthday. Politico first reported Bongino was forcibly removed, but he took to his podcast to slam that narrative and said he was in fact offending his wife, Paula. Bongino said he had picked up the group's tab, little braggadocious there, and left his server a cash tip. He also said, by the way, he leaves big tips. A lot of bragging going on by Bongino.
That's really not pertinent to the story.
Yeah, but he's
just throwing that in there.
Bongino said that he had picked up the group's tab and left his server a cash tip when he suddenly saw a ruckus erupt out of the corner of his eye. He said a man was bear hugging a woman and carrying her out.
Oh, my goodness.
Bongino later realized it was his own wife after seeing her bracelet. Bongino said that he thought they were going to slam Paula to the ground outside as he shouted, "Get your effing hands off my wife." The political commentator told his show, "I wasn't thrown out of anywhere. I want to be clear about that." Apparently it was the wife being thrown out. Okay.
Yeah, the wife was thrown out, obviously. I wonder what happened.
Bongino said that the group of couples had been having a great night out and even broadcasted a clip he took minutes before the outburst showing himself and his wife smiling and bopping their heads to the lively music inside the restaurant. While it's unclear what led to Paula's removal, Bongino claimed his wife was queuing in the wrong line for the restroom. The story broke after Politico said Bongino was thrown out of the establishment, to which Bongino said, "That's an absolute fascinating take on what really happened. Does Politico support physical violence against women?" Bongino, there's something missing from this story, which I'll share with you in a moment. Bongino, who unsuccessfully ran for Congress 3 times, really? I don't know. I didn't know it was 3 times. I don't know. I knew he ran for Congress, is said to have ordered bottle service at Cucina before he was removed. That's fancy stuff. Bottle service is really expensive.
Is it Cucina or Cucina?
Cucina. I guess it's Cucina. I don't know.
I think it's Cucina.
I don't eat in these fancy places. I go to Chipotle. In March 21,
true.
Then it goes into his background.
Yeah.
Then he's talking about Fox and his show. And it says here he lives in Palm City, Florida with his wife Paula and their 2 daughters. Okay, then it goes into some
Where
stuff
is Palm City?
Fox.
Is that like, now this restaurant, I Googled it. It's very fancy, the location. It is in Palm Beach, okay? Palm Beach County's huge, and there's a lot of poor people in Palm Beach out west. But then you cross a bridge, and there's like a big island strip. I'm not sure what that island strip is called.
It's called Palm Beach Island.
Palm Beach Island? Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. It's on.
They call it the island.
The island. That's where it is, and this is where all the rich people live. It's between it has the intracoastal on the west side and the ocean on the other, and that's where this is on this strip of land, which is prime real estate. And when you go to the website, I did a little research here, guys. Cucina, just Google Cucina Palm Beach. You have to make reservations. Brian and I never eat at places that take reservations. We're just not that kind of people. Not that we have anything against it, but I just think spending tons of money on food is just ridiculous. It's just not my thing. But anyway, you have to make your
Gino's paying, we'll go.
If he's paying, we'll go. But I think I've eaten at a restaurant that was taking reservations probably 10 times in my life. But anyway, you have to make reservations to eat dinner here. I don't think it's the kind of place you can just walk in. Maybe it is for lunch, but it's fancy. And it's not a huge place. The video he showed, it looks like a fun place. I'm sure they're going to get slammed with business now because they made the national news, and a lot of people are going to want to go there and check it out. But something must have happened. This is complete speculation. I have no clue. But my theory is, and I could be completely wrong, so take it with a grain of salt. I think she was feeling no pain. They had bottle service, so I think she had a few drinks, and she was in line.
Could have been water bottle service.
I don't think you pay for that. No, it was like probably very fine wine, and it's an Italian restaurant. I'm pretty sure it's either Italian or Mexican. I can't tell the Cucina. I'm not sure. I think it's Italian, and she probably was in line, and got mouthy with somebody. And like I said, maybe she was trying to go into the men's room because she had to go and there were too many women in line. Or maybe she just didn't realize it. But let me tell you something. For an employee or the employee really hates Dan Bongino and saw his wife and took advantage of the situation. That's possible too, that he targeted her. But something happened. I have never seen anybody physically removed, especially a woman.
No.
From a restaurant like that. I've seen guys removed, but I've never seen a woman manhandled and carried out.
Well, what's missing
so
from
something happened here.
What's missing from the story
is
Dan Bongino standing up for his wife. Because when I heard I know he said, "Get your hands off my effing wife," but Dan Bongino's a big guy, Secret Service cop.
Exactly.
And I listened to his show to hear his explanation. And what he did was get out of there as fast as he could. He didn't stand up for his wife.
That tells me she did something wrong.
Probably, yeah. If someone did this to you, what they did to her, I'd call the cops. I wouldn't be running off.
If I was innocent. But if I was mouthing off and running my mouth and being obnoxious, you'd be like, all right, let me get her home and get her to bed.
Yeah, so something's missing in the Bongino story. So you guys let us know in the comments. Nothing against Bongino. I like Bongino. I waited around all morning. I had this story before I went on the air this morning, and I sat on it because the story was very one-sided and vague. And I said, there's no way. I said, Bongino will do his show later today, and he's going to have to address this because it's all over social media. It's in Politico. And then we'll get some clarity and get to figure out what's going on. And Bongino just confused things even more. Listen, people go out and drink. Any of you guys who have been on the cruise with me, I've had a few too many, but I'm honest about it. There's just something fishy here. Now,
I think that he's being I watched him tell his version, and it was
his version.
His version of what's happened, and you could tell he's leaving out some details.
Absolutely. Now,
you could tell because he's being extremely vague about the whole thing.
I want to play this clip of Ana Navarro, and I apologize in advance for playing a clip from The View. I mean, my goodness. But Ana Navarro has lost her mind, and before I play this, I want to remind you she's a Republican, right? Listen to this. This is Ana Navarro today on The View.
The Hunter Biden story, the scandal, the this, the that, it's also the story of a father's love. And Joe Biden has never and will never give up on his son Hunter, and will never treat him lesser than. And so he is a father first. Take it or leave it.
Okay, Ana Navarro's out of her freaking mind.
She is insane.
So Hunter Biden has every vice known to man except gambling. I've never heard him accused of gambling, but he's a hardcore drug addict, okay? And I do have sympathy for people that suffer from drug addiction. I've known people with drug addiction. I've had people in my family with drug addiction. I mean, I'm addicted to coffee, and I've not been able to give it up. I've been trying for years. I can only imagine what it's like to be addicted to something serious, right? And I have sympathy for that. But Joe Biden is not a loving father.
Absolutely not.
Joe Biden is one of the worst fathers I've ever known, and I know a lot of fathers. I'm one myself, and this is why I say this is not a father's love. This is a father abusing his son. When there is someone who is a drug addict, the worst thing you can give a drug addict is money, and because any money you give them, they're going to use it for the drugs. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden has a son that has been abused by him his entire life. He suffers from all these terrible addictions. And not only does he give him money, lots of money, millions of dollars through all of his crooked dealings, he uses him as a money launderer. He introduced him to a world of crime. He has him doing crime. And you know these things about the sex clubs, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene said that Hunter was deducting the prostitutes off his business expenses. Well, the reason he was doing that is because Joe Biden, who Ana Navarro says is a loving father, had his son Hunter paying for hookers and taking these foreign people and business people to sex clubs and buying sex things for them so that they could get their bribe money. What kind of loving father turns their son into a pimp? A criminal, an international criminal? Ana Navarro is a sick, twisted woman. And I've never heard such a twisted explanation for what I consider to be an abusive relationship. Joe abusing his son Hunter. She's nuts.
Well, here's what's going on with Ana Navarro. She's no Republican. I could tell you that she's a liar. She's lost a bunch of weight. Maybe she's on Ozempic. I don't know. That seems to be the trendy thing for celebrities to be on that Ozempic medication. I don't know, but she's lost some weight. She is getting a lot of attention for it. I've seen articles about her in the Daily Mail and other places talking about her weight loss and her big makeover. And she is positioning herself to become like a brand. And she's got she sees a lot of money to be made here for this. Maybe endorsements or whatever. She is on The View. Yeah. She's making money. And now for the first time since she's lost all this weight, she probably feels more beautiful than she's ever felt in her life. I didn't notice
that part. She's lost weight?
Yeah. She's lost like about 50 pounds. So she's getting a lot of attention for it. So she probably is like the thinnest she's ever been. So she's just feeling so amazing and getting a lot of attention. And she is going to say, you have to understand the motivation behind her take on this. Her motivation in saying that, she knows it's not true, but she wants to solidify her job and her position on that show. And I think she is hoping, she's not old like Whoopi Goldberg. She's young. She's what, 48, 45? Yeah. And I think she sees herself being the lead on that show someday and taking that lead spot and has a big future. Yeah. So she is not going to say anything to support anything MAGA, conservative, and nothing. She is now towing the party line and drinking the Kool-Aid, and she is going to say whatever they want her to say to keep her job and to promote her brand.
That's right. Now listen, we're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Are you looking for a reliable taxi service in New York City? Look no further. Syru Taxi has you covered. Online at SyruTaxi.com. That's SYRU. Syru Taxi operates in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. And if you're a driver looking for a flexible and rewarding career opportunity, drive with Syru Taxi and take control of your schedule. You can drive when you want and make what you need. Whether you need an SUV, sedan, or any convenient cab type, you can book your immediate ride right from your doorstep. Enjoy the luxury of their rides without breaking the bank. You can also download the Syru Taxi app, available in the Apple app and Google Play Store. So whether you're a passenger looking for a reliable ride or a driver seeking a fulfilling career, Syru Taxi is here for you. Visit SyruTaxi.com. That's SYRU, or download the app right now. Syru Taxi, your go-to taxi service in New York City. Robert Allen Miltenberg invites you to time travel with him to the Roman future. His new novella, available at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. It's the golden age of Rome, a time of peace and prosperity. And Scadius Commodius Lavatorius is its greatest scientist. But for all he's achieved, one question haunts him. Will Rome survive the test of time? There's only one way to find out. Come along on this cosmic romp of an adventure. See if you can read the signs any better than a brilliant scientist can. Prediction, science fiction, allegory, national glory. This is a satire at its most gladiatorial. Center stage in the Circus Maximus of your mind. A story of time machines and timeless politics, strange Roman cuisine and gambling parlor tricks, spinning gold and crossing the river Styx. That's the Roman future. Available on Kindle and paperback. Go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble now and visit The Roman Future by Robert Allen Miltenberg today. Artificial intelligence. It's what everyone's talking about. But if you ever thought of harnessing the power of AI to achieve financial freedom, it is possible. From author Stephen Truss comes the groundbreaking new book, Give Your Job to AI, the top 10 ways to use AI to achieve financial freedom. Available on Amazon. For those who yearn to live a life of financial freedom, mastering the power of AI is the key to unlocking your path to achieve your dream. With this thought-provoking and life-changing book, you will join a transformative transformative journey that will revolutionize your approach to wealth creation and living life on your own terms. Imagine a life where your passions take center stage, where you have the time and resources to pursue your wildest dreams. Give your job to AI serves as your roadmap, guiding you to turn those dreams into reality. Say goodbye to that monotonous 9-to-5 routine and learn to leverage AI to build passive income streams and embrace a life of limitless possibilities. Give your job to AI, the top 10 ways to use AI to achieve financial freedom from author Stephen Truss, is available on Amazon. Order your copy right now and unlock your potential and embrace a life of abundance. Give your job to AI. Order your copy right now on Amazon.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. All right. So the failing Fox News has announced their new lineup, and it is a disaster. This is their new lineup. It's an official announcement since they got rid of Tucker. They took Tucker off the air, and this is just a disaster waiting to happen. So they have taken Jesse Waters and moved him from 7 to 8 in Tucker's spot. They have kept Sean Hannity on at 9. Gutfeld, who was on at 11, his show has been moved to 10. Now, you may have noticed that Laura Ingraham has been left out of that. Well, Laura Ingraham, her show has been moved to 7 p.m., which is a demotion. I know that's technically considered prime time, but not really. That's a feel-good thing. So they've taken her show from 10 p.m. and moved it to 7 p.m. So they've demoted Laura Ingraham, promoted Jesse Waters, and also promoted Gutfeld. And this is a stupid move. Gutfeld's been beating the late night shows from time to time over the last couple of years. So
what time was he on before?
He was on 11. So they took him out of his winning time slot.
Yeah,
okay,
that's not good. And
they took his winning time slot and moved him. Jesse Waters has been doing well at 7. They put him there, and they demoted Laura Ingraham. This is a lineup of failure. You know, Jesse Waters' ego is so big and out of control now. Now that they've moved him to 8 o'clock, I don't know how he's going to fit on stage. I mean, he probably gets aroused just thinking about himself. I mean,
I can't stand Jesse Waters.
I do not like him.
He's so arrogant.
He loves himself, and he obviously we're on Fox News boycotts here, but he does this thing on his show where he reads tweets from viewers, and they're always suck-ass
Yeah,
tweets,
they're about him. I think that's the
complimentary
dumbest
things
segment that he has. It is so self-serving. And I just can't stand his show.
I don't like him
I think
at all.
he's just a jerk. But I like Gutfeld, and I agree. They put Trace Gallagher on at 11.
I forgot about that. Trace Gallagher. Yeah.
I guess he was doing a late night thing that Shannon Bream had. But I don't know why they moved Greg Gutfeld to 10. I guess they got nobody else, and we'll see how it does. Maybe people will like it that it's on, but a lot of people like that the late night slot to watch after everything else against the other talk shows. I don't know, but I don't think this lineup's going to make anything. They're really just shifting people around.
Well,
they really should have brought in somebody else to make it more exciting. You know what I mean?
Someone new.
Some new blood or something. Bring in somebody to make it more interesting, exciting, hire a new person. But this is nothing. I mean, this is what Fox does.
Bring in somebody outside of Fox that's like a known person, like, oh, wow, they're now at Fox?
Yeah, it's just something a little exciting.
This is boring. And now the only person I think that might be a little concerned might be Greg Kelly on Newsmax going up against Gutfeld. Gutfeld's pretty popular.
That's not good for Greg Kelly. That's true.
Yeah. And Laura Ingraham at 7. It took Fox News about a year to figure out who they were going to put on at 7 because Greg Kelly was performing so well on Newsmax. He was beating Martha McCallum, and they put Jesse Waters in, and he was doing well. Putting Laura Ingraham there, Rob Schmidt over on Newsmax is very good. Now,
he's fantastic.
I do not like the television cable news. I don't really like any of it, even like the Newsmax. I don't watch too much Newsmax. Yeah. To me, well, first off, I told you guys, I don't listen or watch a lot of other shows on purpose because I don't want to be influenced from their content on what I talk about and what I do, and I don't want and a lot of times what'll happen if I listen to a lot of other podcasts or radio shows or watch a lot of shows on television, it'll change my idea sometimes of what I'm going to talk about, because I'll feel like, oh, well, that's the hot topic, I should talk about that, or I was going to talk about that tomorrow, but now that they're doing it, it's like going. And I don't want their opinions. So I don't watch or listen to a lot of other shows.
Right.
So I'm not. Me boycotting Fox News isn't really like a sacrifice or anything, because I really wasn't watching it that much anyway. But this is a disaster waiting to happen for Fox News. I predict complete failure. Jesse Waters. Now, they've all taken big ratings hits lately. There's no doubt about it. The ratings aren't today what they were prior to the removing Tucker. But Jesse Waters was doing very well at 7 o'clock for them. And they've moved two successful people, Waters and Gutfeld, out of their time slots to put them somewhere else. That's just stupid.
I think they should have brought in, like I said, somebody new and make it exciting. And this is nothing exciting. This is just shuffling people around. And I think Laura Ingram's days are numbered. I really do. I don't think she's going to do well in that. I think people are bored with her anyway. I don't know what her ratings are, but maybe people like her. I don't. She's okay, but she's not exciting. She needs a new hairdo. Her hair's awful. But I don't think she's going to do well at 7 o'clock at all. And and she's very anti-Trump now. So she always was.
Is she really? I haven't watched her show maybe ever. I don't watch. It's on too late.
I used to watch her before I stopped watching Fox, and I noticed her shifting, and she's a little bit like Hannity. She kind of is hard to tell sometimes. She's very middle of the road. Doesn't have the conviction of Tucker. But I think in general, you have two major national news networks that are in deep. Oh yeah, CNN and Fox. MSNBC has their hardcore, radical, liberal, Antifa loving, trans loving audience that they're never going to go anywhere, and they're good with that. But CNN and Fox seem to be just flailing. They've made all kinds of changes to the lineups and who's in charge and who's not. Both networks are having problems. They can't seem to find their footing. But neither one of these stations or networks will do what they need to do, which is do more news and be a little more favorable to Trump. CNN will never do that. But they're not being honest in their reporting, and they're they have an agenda. They have a political agenda. It's obvious, and maybe it's always that way. I don't know. When we were growing up, the news wasn't on this much. I mean, you have the 6 o'clock news for half an hour, and they didn't have time to sit there and they didn't have talking heads. Or when you watch the news now, it's like listening to a radio talk show. And there's a great place for radio talk show where people discuss things. But now on TV, it's turned into like a radio talk show constantly.
Without callers.
There's exactly.
They're preaching.
There's no news. It's just all discussion.
I'm going to give an example, okay? What happened over the weekend in Russia, no one in the news knew what happened. And I don't think anybody really knows. But immediately, Fox is going on this pro-Zelensky Russian Mike, the board op, in the mornings, when I got off the air today, he had an interesting theory about what happened in Russia. And I think this is I think this is probably the most likely thing that happened, because what happened in Russia was so weird, right?
It was
weird. So this guy from the Wagner group, like the music, the Wagner group, he's marching towards Moscow. He was 12 hours away, and then when he was 6 hours away, he stops, and then he'll have to go to prison for this, and he's being sent to Belarus, no jail. He's like a free man in Belarus, and Putin, obviously, he executes people all the time and poisons people, and to let this guy just go to Belarus and not be executed or go to jail seems very bizarre. And this is what Mike thinks happened, and I think that this is probably very likely that this Wagner, I keep wanting to say Wagner, this Wagner.
Like Hitler's favorite composer.
Why doesn't everyone just speak English? Life would be so much easier if everyone just spoke English. But anyway, this guy from the Wagner group, what Mike thinks happened is that he made a deal with the CIA to take a boatload of money. The CIA funded a coup against Putin and gave the Wagner guy all the money. And he's put this fake coup together and got, remember there was a story last week that there was an accounting error in the Ukraine money of like $6 billion or something. They gave him billions of dollars to launch a coup against Putin, and he scammed the CIA, put on a fake coup, and split the money with Putin.
Probably.
And I think Mike is right on that he made that the Wagner Group guy made a deal with the CIA.
Yeah.
They gave him a boatload of money for a coup. He called up Putin. He said, "Hey, Vlad, guess what these dumb Americans did? They just gave me $6 billion to launch a coup against you." And he says, "Bring it on. We'll split the money. Here's my Swiss bank account number." And I think that's exactly what happened in Russia. And I was watching on CNN a little while ago, and they had a graphic on the screen. The U.S. had no knowledge of coup. That tells me right there they knew everything about it.
Of course.
When they're denying it so hard. But I think that's probably what happened.
Sounds plausible.
Yeah,
sure.
It's so weird. I mean,
it was strange. It was obviously a show. It was obviously
for something
staged and a show, because coups don't begin and end in a 24-hour period.
No, I was already,
I mean, I've never heard of that.
I woke up on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to do a live stream on YouTube. I got up early, would do a live stream on YouTube, and I go through the news and I see, there's a coup going on in Russia. I said, well, I guess that's what the live stream will be about. And that's what it is about. And I was ready to dig in for the weekend. I had some plans. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to stay home today, because how often do you get to watch a coup? We haven't seen a coup like in Russia since they overthrew Gorbachev. And I was like, this will be exciting. I'm all ready. Let's order DoorDash. We're going to watch a coup all day on television. And then like by 11 o'clock in the morning, it was over.
Yep.
And I was like, what's going on? This is, where's my coup? But
it just fell flat.
Wasn't it so weird?
Yeah, it was strange.
Now I want to play this clip. This is Ramaswamy, okay? Vivek Ramaswamy. He was asked if he'll pardon the January 6 prisoners.
Sir, if you become president, what would you do to help the January 6th defendants still suffering in the D.C. gulag?
Anyone who is peaceful gets a pardon, and anyone who has a due process violation gets a pardon. And I'm very firm about that.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay. Vivek Ramaswamy, I must say, I've never heard him say anything that I disagree with. That doesn't mean I agree with everything he said. I haven't listened to him, and I haven't listened to him every time he's talked.
I like the guy.
I like the guy too.
Yeah.
But
He's got a good head on his shoulders.
I am very suspect of people that come out of nowhere and all of a sudden we all like them and they say all the right things.
What is his claim to fame? Like, who is he?
He's a billionaire from one of these tech companies.
Well, there you go. He started by buying his time on Fox and getting lots of interviews, which I'm sure he pays for that time like an advertiser. And now he's becoming, getting interviewed on the spot and getting in the news, and that's how it works. I mean, that's how these guys get noticed.
No, that's how it happens. But a lot of people,
money buys you a lot of access. Brian.
Yeah, a lot of people, and he's only 37 years old.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of people are all into him. He founded a biopharmaceutical company. Okay, in 2014, he was a investment partner, and he's made all this money and done a lot of other things too. But when someone comes out of nowhere, and he's from Cincinnati, Ohio, which I didn't know. When someone comes out of nowhere, you've never heard of them before. They're running for president. You like everything they say, and they're on all the TV networks.
Yeah.
And watch out for them. Don't put. He may be the best guy.
But you
next
don't
to
trust
Trump.
him now?
I don't trust or distrust him. I just don't know the guy. And when someone comes out of nowhere and you know nothing about them, just because they say the right things is not a reason to support them.
Well, I do know this. He's the only other person running that's defending Trump.
That is true. And
out
I like
of all
that.
the other jerks that are running,
without question,
that are throwing Trump under the bus, and all of them, by the way, Trump has helped their career. I mean, Nikki Haley was the UN ambassador. He got Ron DeSantis elected. He made Mike Pence the VP. He helped all these people, and now they're stabbing him in the back.
Look at all these people running.
Bunch of Judases.
Right. Almost everybody that's running against Trump, he made him, right? You're right. Pence, Haley, DeSantis. I mean, these guys, no loyalty.
Yeah, and this is the only guy who actually is defending him, a guy that Trump really didn't do anything for.
Hey, listen, like I said, I haven't heard him say anything I disagree with, But a lot of people are talking about him becoming vice president and everything else. Let's find out more about him before we make him Trump's vice president. He may be the best vice president ever.
Well, the news is trying to start a rumor that Trump and Carrie Lake are having a thing.
Of course they are.
Which is absurd. They're both happily married. But Melania, and I've said this before, I think she needs to be a little more present. Whatever is going on in their marriage, I'm sure everything's fine, but I don't care. She needs to be out there more with him. And, they don't have, anything of them together in a while. And it was reported that Carrie Lake has a permanent suite at Mar-a-Lago with her and her husband and the kids.
Maybe.
I don't know if that's could be true. She's in with
possible.
Trump.
By the way, Mar-a-Lago is the largest home in Florida that has people living in it.
It's like a huge resort.
It's the
huge.
second largest mansion in Florida, and the other mansion's a museum in Miami.
So they're not living in the same house. There's a bunch of other bungalows, and
it's not like our house.
Right. They're not living in the same quarters together, but it's being reported that she has a house or an apartment or whatever on Mar-a-Lago property. May or may not be true, I don't know. But they're really trying, it's going to fall flat, but they're trying to push this story that him and Carrie Lake are having an affair.
I don't believe that. And
of course
I'll tell
not.
You,
absolutely not. It's ridiculous.
When I interviewed Carrie,
they're just good friends.
When I interviewed Carrie Lake last week, she was not in the Eastern time zone. I'm not going to say where she was, but because of the time of the interview, and because that's why I didn't do it live on the radio. She was not in the Eastern time zone, and her daughter was in Fort Lauderdale. So she's got connections here in Florida.
How old's her daughter?
I don't know. But I before the interview, I was talking to her about it because she was telling me her daughter was going to listen to the interview on the radio. So I was getting all the information. And she's like, what radio station would my daughter listen to in Fort Lauderdale? So Carrie Lake had this. That's not in the interview. That was before the interview we were talking. But she's got some connections in Florida. And she was out the other day in Florida doing some deep sea fishing. And it was not on a boat with Trump.
Listen, I don't blame her for living here. Or if Trump offered us an apartment at Mar-a-Lago, I wouldn't turn it down.
Oh,
I'd be like, hell yeah.
Sure.
Are you kidding me?
I'd take him to work with me.
So she's obviously living here because Fort Lauderdale is about an hour from Mar-a-Lago. And everybody who's anybody in the Republican Party lives in Florida.
Well, she's an advisor to
Palm
Trump.
Beach.
Yeah.
I think she's an advisor to Trump. And I think they're constantly strategizing, and she's probably working for the campaign. I don't know what her official title is, but I think she's an advisor, and I think he definitely has plans for her in his administration. I would love to see her as the press secretary, but I think she'd be perfect for that. Perfect. But I don't know if that is what he's thinking. But if she's living at Mar-a-Lago, good for her. But to insinuate that they're sleeping together because she happens to be on this massive compound is absurd, but that's what they're trying. People are it's falling flat. It's not really going anywhere. But I've noticed in the last week, people are trying to get that going.
Well, because that's their dirty minds. Because they think that they're in this Harry and Sally thing that every man and woman together are having sex. Not every man
can't be friends.
is Joe Biden. All right, we'll be right back.
Are you in search of a powerful all-in-one multivitamin? Double X from wellnessdistributions.com is the ultimate solution for your nutritional needs. Double X combines 22 vital vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to support your heart, brain, eyes, skin, bones, energy levels, immune system, and cellular health. What sets Double X apart is its unique formulation, harnessing the power of natural plant-based ingredients from the entire psychonutrient spectrum. This comprehensive blend provides robust antioxidant defense against free radicals generated by environmental stressors. With 22 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, Double X is here to support your overall well-being. From your heart to your brain, from your eyes to your skin, Double X has you covered. With over 80 years of supplement development, you can trust wellnessdistributions.com. They have a comprehensive range of products that are tailored to different life stages and diverse nutritional requirements. They understand that every individual is unique, and their products reflect that understanding. Your path to wellness starts here. Go to wellnessdistributions.com and take advantage of their free nutritional health assessment. wellnessdistributions.com. Are you ready to unleash your true self and achieve the success that you've dreamed of? Then add Unleash Thyself, the self-improvement podcast that will guide you on your journey of personal growth, to your podcast playlist. On Unleash Thyself, explore the path to finding your true self and unlocking your full potential. Unleash Thyself is your ultimate training ground for success. You will learn to reprogram your limiting beliefs, embrace mindfulness, and embark on a transformative journey towards a more fulfilling life. Unleash Thyself is dedicated to personal growth, spirituality, and self-discovery. They're on a mission to inspire, empower, and guide you on your unique journey. Join the Unleash Thyself community of growth-minded individuals as they challenge conventional wisdom, dig deep into life's big questions, and engage in thought-provoking discussions with experts, thinkers, and storytellers. Add Unleash Thyself to your podcast playlist right now. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and at unleashthyself.com. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of a healthier, more vibrant life? Look no further than lifewave.com/revive39. There, you will find a groundbreaking health technology company that's dedicated to honoring the light of life and harnessing the body's natural energy to reverse aging and maximize human potential. Their mission is simple: to empower you to live in the light, maximize your human potential with transformative health technology that enhances and extends lives. And now, they're inviting you to become a part of an incredible journey as a brand partner. As a brand partner, not only will you market the most innovative products, but also you'll be part of a modernized compensation plan. Their uplifting community of like-minded entrepreneurs from all around the world will surround you like a family, supporting your success every step of the way. Imagine being part of a purposeful community where heart-to-heart connections and shared passion for wellness create a powerful synergy. Go right now to lifewave.com/revive39. That's lifewave.com/revive39 to learn more and start building your own business. Lifewave.com/revive39. Your path to a brighter future begins now. Lifewave.com/revive39. Lifewave.com/revive39.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Hey, if you'd like to support the show, go to mypillow.com and buy something with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane. But I want to mention today, once again, the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology. Later in the week, I'll talk about some of the other great products at MyPillow, but the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology is amazing. It has the same patented fill inside as the MyPillow that started it all, but the material on the outside is a special material developed by Mike Lindell that stops your head and face from getting hot. You're always the perfect temperature like Goldilocks. You'll never flip the pillow over again looking for the cool side. And I had the unfortunate night the other night of sleeping without the MyPillow 2.0, and I've gotten spoiled. I'm sleeping.
You noticed the difference.
It was a regular MyPillow, which is spectacular, but it didn't have the cooling technology, and my face and head were hot. And I never noticed that before. I've been the perfect temperature with the 2.0. So right now at MyPillow.com, you can get the MyPillow 2.0, buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, now there's a story just breaking that there's another balloon over the United States, which may be a spy balloon from China. Yeah.
I thought Biden said they were embarrassed to do that.
Apparently
not.
Congressman Rosendale communicated his concern of a potential spy balloon that has been reported over Dawson County, Montana, by residents to the congressman. They're tracking a balloon cruising at 57,000 feet over eastern Montana. This was Sunday.
God, that's really high up.
Night. The congressman contacted the Department of Defense. And the Department of Defense told the congressman that while they were aware of the balloon, they would not investigate it due to its size, and they wouldn't shoot it down. So, the Chinese, they can just do whatever they want. They can, send balloons, do whatever they feel like.
The question is, why are they spying? What are they looking for specifically? I think spying between countries has been going on forever. But, I mean, there were even spies during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but there's no war going on now.
Right, there's not.
Peacetime.
Well, are they getting ready for something? Or why are they gathering intel? What are they gathering specifically? What are they looking for?
I'll tell you.
Is what I want to know.
It's pretty simple. What the Chinese spy balloon, what it's doing is taking detailed images of the entire country's military installation, things you can't get on your. The last balloons that came across got all our missile silos. They went over our air bases to see where everything's parked. They're updating their intelligence of the United States, and because
for what purpose?
So that they can retarget their weapons, their missiles, and things like this. If they were to attack us, they know exactly where to attack. And
That's scary.
The reason they're doing it is because Biden works for China. And they can do it now.
Well, he's letting them. Exactly.
Yeah, they probably told him they wanted to do it. He said, come on.
What do you think is going to happen with Biden? They clearly want him out of office. The press is talking about all these things, and they're getting ready to impeach Merrick Garland over this IRS thing. McCarthy said that by the 6th of July, he's going to be impeached over this stuff going on. There's clearly some, scandalous things, and something big is about to happen. I don't think personally Biden is going to step down. I don't think he will walk away from this because he has gotten away with so much, and he knows he's never going to go to jail. He knows he's going to get away with all of this, and him and his wife love being in the White House too much. Why would they walk away? We're in a different era now.
And they're making too much money.
Al Franken resigned because there was a really bad picture of him with his hands over this woman sleeping, this service woman, and he had his hands over her breasts. And that was disgusting, and he resigned. If that happened now, I don't think he'd resign. We're in a new era of politician, and I think it started with that guy from Virginia where he refused to resign over the Klan pictures. We're in a new era of politician where they don't resign anymore. They just don't do it. They just say no because they figured out nothing. You want me out of here? Do it. You get me out of here because nothing is going to happen, especially if you're a Democrat. So everybody's talking about Newsom running and his place. How would that exactly happen? I don't see Joe. He's announced he's running. He's going to start campaigning soon. I don't see how that they're going to get this guy to leave.
No.
And I know they want him to because he's a problem.
No.
Maybe they don't want him to. Maybe they like him in there because he's corrupted.
I thought that the establishment want Biden not to run and they want to plug in Newsom.
So maybe they don't.
And then they had that state dinner over the weekend at the White House.
Right.
And I saw the way that all these big power brokers and donors and everyone were acting around Hunter Biden.
Oh, yeah, it was disgusting.
These Washington insiders love Joe Biden because he's so corrupt. They all get whatever they want as long as they pay for it.
It's a big, giant grift.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the top of the pyramid.
It's the biggest theft from the United States that we've ever... companies, there's so much that companies put into shoplifting and things like this. Now, I know out west... things are pretty lawless where stores or chains are leaving cities and stuff.
Oh, so, they just let them come in.
So I'm not talking about that stuff aside. Before that started, shoplifting's always been a big thing. But most of the theft from a business is from employees. Employee theft's a bigger problem than shoplifting in most businesses prior to this new phase where the Democrats let people go in and just load up their carts and go out. And what's going on right now with all these Washington insiders is the biggest employee theft in the history of this nation. And when I was shocked to see how all these big shot donors and all were sucking up to Hunter Biden. And I found out who the guy was that was patting Hunter on the back. I'm not going to say his name right now because I don't have it 100% confirmed. But someone told me you could only see them from the back, and I thought their back looked familiar. And somebody told me today who they think it is. I'll tell you after the show, Kathy. But it's not a politician. It's a donor.
Why can't you say it?
because I'm not 100% sure that this was the person. So I don't want to say someone's name and be wrong. But those Washington insiders at the state dinner were just too fresh. They were sucking up to Hunter, the prince.
I see it as a big pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And Biden's at the top of the pyramid. That's how I see it. You know, guys are familiar with pyramid schemes and how they work. And that's kind of how I see it. And they're all in on, and you're right. If they felt that he wasn't going to be there in the next election, or be running at least, they wouldn't be doing that. I don't know how these people, I wouldn't even want to be near Hunter. I mean, if he accidentally brushed against me, if I was even in the room with him, I would want to go home and bathe and sterilize myself and wash with antibacterial soap.
Oh, yeah.
And God knows what else. I mean, my goodness, I think he's just a walking petri dish. I mean, we all have things we all walk around with bacteria. I understand that. But he's got stuff on him that I think should not be there. I just think he is gross. I am sorry. I wouldn't want to be near that guy. No, I mean, if you saw him in a ballroom or anywhere, would you go near this guy?
He's like they've taken.
Be afraid of catching something.
When I saw Hunter Biden at that state dinner that was black tie, it's like, to me, it's like they took someone off of Skid Row in Los Angeles, put a tuxedo on him, and gave him a sponge bath and threw him out there. It's pretty. You know what it really reminds me of. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. This is true. I thought of this. There was a movie with Cher back in the 80s where she played an attorney, and Liam Neeson played this homeless guy that was on trial, was her client. You know that movie?
That with Dennis Quaid?
Dennis Quaid was in it.
That's a great movie.
And Liam Neeson wasn't famous yet.
No.
And he had a beard. He was homeless. He was all scruffy and scary and everything. And then when they took him to court, they shaved him and put a suit on him. And he looked presentable.
That was a good movie.
But that, I cannot remember. But that's kind of what Hunter reminded. Now,
they gave him some new teeth. Hunter Biden. I know they gave him some veneers.
Oh yeah.
His teeth were all destroyed from the drugs.
Yeah, and the crack, and the hookers, and all that stuff. Okay, now we have all of these people running against Trump, and I just realized this just popped in my brain a few minutes ago. Kevin McCarthy has not endorsed Trump, has he? Kevin McCarthy, to my knowledge, has not endorsed President Trump. No, it's not too early. It's not too early.
Has Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Oh, yeah. She's endorsed Trump. Okay. Yeah, Matt Gaetz has endorsed Trump. We've endorsed Trump.
I don't know what Kevin McCarthy's deal is.
Playing both sides.
I can't tell. Sometimes he does things that make me feel he's very loyal to Trump, and they're very good friends.
He's not.
Okay, so Merrick Garland, we mentioned, is going to be impeached, according to Kevin McCarthy. This is broke
next
today.
week.
Next week over what is it over him hiding evidence or monkeying around with this IRS thing? What's the story with this?
Well, he's been hiding evidence that's been coming in on Biden. So we don't have all the information, but it'll be involving that.
So they're going to impeach him because he wants all the evidence to come out. And he said that's the only way to get it to come out is to get him to testify. These people, they have no problem lying under oath. They're not even religious people. They swear on a Bible. You think they're going to care? They don't believe in heaven and hell. They don't think they're going to burn in hell for lying on a Bible.
When Eric Holder was the attorney general, there was this insane congressional hearing that you guys remember the Tea Party. There was this whole wave in 2010 of Tea Party congressmen that went to Congress. The Tea Party doesn't even exist anymore. Sometimes you hear about the Freedom Caucus. That's what's left of the Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there was this Tea Party congressman who's not around anymore. I can't remember who he was. He's not around anymore. And there was this hearing with Eric Holder, and he was asking, and this was live on TV, he was asking Eric Holder really tough questions, like Fast and Furious questions and stuff. And it was good. And Eric Holder said to him, this was on TV. Remember, he's the witness. He's the attorney general talking to a member of Congress. Eric Holder said to the congressman, he says, "You're new here. You don't know how things work around here.
Exactly.
When we come out here to these hearings, we don't come out here to be interrogated." And what he was saying was, this is just a show for the public.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to really be asking us questions.
Exactly. And we've said that all along. It's a dog and pony show. And that's why when people get frustrated, like nobody goes to jail, you're right. Nobody will go to jail because they do this. It's an act that they put on, and it's like probably scripted. And they go out there and they put on an act, but there's never, very rarely, resolution to these things. It's just to go out there and look like, to get on TV, which they all love to do, and to get their faces out there so they can get good publicity. and to show their constituents, I'm doing something here. I'm really trying to do something. Now, the only person I would feel that is not this way is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
Absolutely.
like she really wants to make some changes. And she has said that she has tried to impeach Biden and nobody will do it, that they will not jump on board.
That's
She
right.
has introduced the articles. And now you have Elise Stefanik and somebody else, I can't remember, trying to remove the impeachment of Trump, which, of course, we all know probably won't happen either. But you do have people trying to do stuff. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, to me, is the only one who's genuinely sincere, and maybe Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan, those three. The rest, I feel, are just, spinning the wheels and putting on a show, like you said, and then they move on to the next thing. It's just to keep people happy, tongues wagging, and make it look like they're earning their keep.
That's right. Well, listen, guys, we are out of time for today, but we'll be back next time. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And remember, the Brian Craig Show podcast, which, of course, was named the number 3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America, which is it's a list of 100. Number 1 was Mark Levin. Number 2 was The Blaze. And number 3 was us. So that's pretty good. Thank you all. And that is based on listener data and analytics and all kinds of things. It's not like a random thing. So thank you all. And the Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms as well as my YouTube channel. We'll talk to you next time.